Hello everyone, it's Miss Amy at the Grass Valley Library. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Random Acts of Science. Today we're going to be talking about how matter changes phase from a solid to a liquid. And the fun part about this one is that matter is chocolate. So let's get started. If you haven't already grabbed a bag from the Grass Valley Library, you can stop in and pick one up or give us a call and we will have one delivered to the library nearest you. Inside the bag, you're going to find most things that you need to do the experiment. You're going to find an instruction sheet that tells you how to do the experiment and then talks about the science behind it. In this bag, there's going to be 3 paper plates, a piece of black construction paper, a clear plastic cup, and most importantly, a bag of gold chocolate foil covered coins. And happy St. Patrick's Day to you. So we're going to get started. Our goal today is to find out how long it takes chocolate to melt, which is change phase from solid to liquid, in 3 different conditions. There's enough coins in here, there should be 6 in yours, to do the experiment twice or just for eating. Either way. So let's get started. You're going to find a sunny south-facing window. You're probably going to want to do this experiment in the afternoon when the sunlight is a little bit stronger, and you're going to need to have sun coming in that window for probably 20 to 30 minutes total. So pick a big window with a good orientation. You're also going to have to wait for a sunny day for this experiment to work. You are welcome to try this experiment in other conditions as well with that second set of coins. You can do it in the shade, you can do it outside, you can do it under a heat lamp, you can do it on the dining room table. You can see how it works in different conditions. So we're going to have a control plate. That is going to be the first plate right here. That plate is going to have an unwrapped chocolate coin. So when you're ready, unwrap the coin, and you're going to put it in the center of that first white plate. That's going to be our control. That's going to tell us how fast chocolate's going to melt without any of these other things we're going to do to it. The second plate is going to have a cold coin in the middle of it, but you're going to unwrap it so the chocolate is out there. And then you're going to take the clear plastic cup and you're going to set it on top. And the third plate, we're going to change the color of the plate and change it to black. So you can use the black construction paper, lay it on top. You can also cut it so it sits nicely in the bottom of the plate, whatever works for you. Take your third coin, unwrap it, and set it on the construction paper. And that's kind of it. That is the bulk of the experiment. And then you're going to do what a good scientist does, and you are going to watch and observe. So I'm going to show you what my setup looks like, and then we're going to come back and talk about what happened. So in my setup, I only let it go for 10 minutes, and you probably want to let it go for much longer than that. I would recommend 20 minutes to a half an hour, or as long as you have sunlight. Keep coming back and seeing what happens. So what does happen when a substance changes phase, in this case we're adding heat to chocolate, and that chocolate, which is usually a solid, the molecules start wiggling around and expanding, and as it does, it turns into a liquid. So that's the process that's happening here, and we're looking at what temperature and how to manipulate that temperature to make that happen. One way you can have another control for this, even though we're not measuring the temperature in all these situations, is you can take a coin, put it in your mouth, hold it on your tongue, and see how long it takes to melt there. If you know what your body temperature is, then you know how hot, or that helps you know whether these plates are warmer or cooler than your body temperature. So that's another reason to eat a piece of chocolate, really, but another way to think about this experiment. So here's what we know for sure. White as a color reflects heat and sunlight. So this isn't going to absorb a lot of heat. It's not going to hold a lot of heat. It's going to be the least hot of these three plates. In the second case, we've got a clear plastic cup. What we know is that sunlight and heat enter the cup, but they can't leave very easily. So it's just like a greenhouse for plants. You don't need a ton of sunlight or a ton of heat to get a greenhouse nice and warm, because it traps that heat and doesn't let it escape. So that heat, the longer we sit in the sun with this, that heat is building up inside of that and hopefully turning that chocolate to liquid faster than it would on the regular white plate. And then in the third case, on the black construction paper plate, black is the opposite of white. It absorbs heat. That's why it's so much hotter to walk barefoot across asphalt, across an asphalt paved parking lot, than it is to walk down a sidewalk. So you're going to want to check out all three of these things, let them go for as long as you have time for, kind of make notes in your notebook if you'd like about at what point things start melting, and you can get a kind of comparison about when it's hot enough for chocolate to change to liquid. So hope you had a fun time with this experiment. Join me next week for another episode of Random Acts of Science.